Everyone was excited about the result of the lion and dog meeting, where they put a German Shepherd in a lion's cage, and what happened was very exciting and inspiring, but I won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's start the story from the beginning. John Rain, a specialist in raising and caring for wild cats, or in other words lions and tigers, was taking care of their cubs in his home in Wynwood, Oklahoma. Recently, he raised a lion cub named Bundigar and a tiger cub named Tony. John cared deeply for the two cubs, feeding them milk and raw meat. Despite being from two different species, they behaved like siblings, playing together outside the house, eating together, and spending time together. Tony was more outgoing and defensive, and Bundigar was always watching over him so he wouldn't get hurt. John. Bundigar was very affectionate and gentle. The reason John cared for Bundigar is that he was sick. He couldn't handle the wildlife because he was born with a problem in his system that made him more fragile and more timid than the natural lion. That's why Bundigar will need to be in protection all the time, and luckily, he met someone who can understand what it means to live with a disability, and this person is John. In 1994, John fell on his back from a distance of 16 meters, causing him to break his neck and spine. The doctors told him he would never walk again, but John was stubborn, and thanks to physical therapy, he was able to walk again. But things continued to go downhill as the doctors had to amputate both his legs up to the knee. But this did not diminish his love for life, and he learned something new, which is caring for sick wild animals. Over time, John developed a friendship with Bundigar, probably because they both understood each other's differences. Over time, the cubs grew, and John was no longer able to keep them at his home and had to send them to a designated place. John didn't just raise the wild cats at his home, he also worked as a keeper at the Great Winewood Acoustic Garden, which became the new home for Bundigar and Tony, where they could play and roam in a spacious place. Tony was released with the tigers, and Bundigar was given a spacious place to live in, but he was not happy with the release. He was alone. Bundigar missed playing with Tony and John. John understood the matter immediately, but there was a problem that he could not make him join the other lions because they might attack him, but he thought of a completely different solution. There were 4 dogs in the park roaming freely, and the guards loved them and allowed them to enter and exit, and they were very friendly. One of the dogs, named Abby, was brave and outgoing, and he is what gave John his idea. John put the dog Abby. With Bundigar in the cages, yes, as you heard, he was locked in the cages. The truth is that everyone might have held their breath in awe of the situation, especially when Abby jumped eagerly to play. Bundigar stood silently in front of him. No one knew what he intended to do. Does he intend to attack him and kill him? But what happened next was really unexpected. At first, Bundigar kept his distance from Abby as if he was afraid of him. But Abby refused to surrender. He approached him and kept jumping around him. And surprisingly, Bundigar started to soften and started to sniff him and wag his tail. They both started to interact with each other. Then, John knew that he was right and his plan was successful. They both started to jump and play together. They both found in the other a companion and a friend. Abby was the perfect companion for Bundigar, and it proves that maybe German Shepherds from Abby's breed are not afraid of larger animals. Abby and Bundigar were moved to a larger cage, and in the end, all the German Shepherds were introduced to Bundigar, and things went really well. They all got along, and the cage atmosphere was full of affection and love. They would only separate when it was time to clean the cage. Only then, John would go from time to time to clean the cage and remove the harmful grass. He takes care of Bundigar and the rest of the dogs, and John says that Bundigar loves all the dogs, but it seems that Abby has a special place in his heart. Despite the difference between the lion and the dogs, they play together, spend time together, eat together, and sleep in the same place. This animal friendship is unusual. John says there is a stronger bond between Bundigar and Abby than the other 3 dogs, but they all get along very well. Bundigar is a wild animal that John was able to tame, and Abby is a domestic animal that could be wild. There's a little bit of every animal in each of them. Want to see more videos on our channel? We can help with that. Click on the bell icon. You'll be in the know that all the friends are here, and then you'll get notifications of new releases. For more, Subscribe to our channel to watch everything that's new and enjoyable.